couldn't have been better.
Yeah, no, literally.
TNMP, the Nerdy Misfit Podcast, with your hosts, Connor O'Neill and Matthew Hughes.
What is up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Nerdy Misfit Podcast. Today, we're talking about One Piece Season 2, Into the Grand Line, live action adaptation on Netflix. The air date was March 10th, 2026. Episode count was 8. They're all pretty much an hour. I think a couple were a little bit longer, but still, if you include credits, it was still not even over. Genre is a pirate adventure action. It's a shonen.
It's a shonen. It's a live action shonen.
I'm not going to give you the synopsis because, well, it's freaking One Piece, okay?
Yeah,
like
you should already know what it's about.
Current IMDb rating is 8.6.
Yeah, that was kind of averaged out.
100% critic score on Rotten Tomatoes and 95% audience score. There's a long list here for the characters and the actors.
Just go for the ones that add in season 2. That might be
sure.
easiest.
Yep. So we have Vivi, who is Charithra. Chandron. She was from. I recognize her from Bridgerton.
Yep.
Tony Chopper, which is only one person here, but technically
like 3.
it was 3 people.
Yeah.
But
the voice of
Michaela
Tony
Hoover.
Yep.
Then we have Smoker, who is Caleb Kerr, Tashigi, Julia Rawald.
Yep.
Igaram, or Mr. 8, Yonda Thomas, Wapple, Rob Coletti, Dr. Correa, Katie Sagal.
Who I knew from Jake Peralta's mom in Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and also the voice of Leela from Futurama.
I knew her as the what's that show? 8 Simple Rules.
Yes.
And she's also in the biker show. I can't remember off the top of my head right now.
Sons of Anarchy?
Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah.
She was great.
She's a great actress, yeah.
And Dr. Hiroluke, which was Mark Haralick, who I butchered some of those names, but they were all great. Because, well, and you don't have Mr. 3 in here.
Oh, I don't. You're right. Obviously, I don't have like the other ones either. I kind of just ones that were kind of
who
all
is
around.
I can't remember his name, but he's in The Dark Knight. He's in Dune. What is his name? What is his name, Matthew?
His name is David Dastmalchian.
Well, he was great.
Yeah. Dude who was in Suicide Squad, Oppenheimer. He's got a huge IMDb list. Great actor.
Yeah, I saw an interview with him, and he was talking about how his kids like One Piece.
Yep.
And that's the primary reason he ended up doing it, and he was great.
That's how some actors just get into these crazy like comic book nerd roles. They're like, my kids are really into it, so I figured I'd do it for them.
Yep.
Like, that's
and
wild.
Respect, because
He kills it.
Goes without saying, though, I would say that rating for the show is pretty accurate.
Yep.
It is.
It's an average. There's a couple episodes that are about 8.4, 8.3, but then I think episode like 7 was a 9.6.
It also depends on what you want, right? If you're going into this thinking you're going to get every panel from the manga,
Lower your
that's not what you're
expectations.
getting. Or, even from the anime, you're not getting that. I think there's an understanding on the writers team of you can't fit everything.
Yeah.
And they do a fantastic job of picking what to cut out and kind of making things work. And they also make things work within the set.
Yes.
Because I think compared to season 1, the show got better. The sets got bigger. They weren't as constrained into one specific spot.
I agree.
They kind of got to go around a bit more. But even with that said, when you think of like the anime and the manga for Drum Island, when you think of the final fight with Chopper and everyone, there's a lot of outside the castle and you see the castle, but a lot of that took place in more of a set of a room. And that's just, you're working in a different medium and you got to make it work.
Exactly.
And
Also,
I think that they do a
budget
great
is
job with
real
that.
thing.
Well, the budget on this is crazy.
Yeah.
It averages out to something like 18 to 20 mil per episode, which is higher than Game of Thrones, higher than The Mandalorian. And they do a great job. I think the most impressive part for this show as a whole is they really lean into just that One Piece is wacky.
Yeah.
And if you don't know anything about One Piece, you're going to be like, this is really bizarre. And if you know stuff about One Piece,
You're also thinking it's bizarre.
it is bizarre because sometimes when it's brought to real life, you're like, I don't know if they need to do it. But I almost appreciate how heavily accurate they are to designs.
To a fault.
Because, yeah, I think that sometimes you're like, I don't know if they really needed to have the hair be like that. But then you kind of respect that they did do it.
I think for me, the biggest takeaway from the show is that, yes, the budget was crazy, but it's also good to know is they did as many practical effects as
and
they
I think
could.
that's because they know how much CGI work they have to do, which is expensive.
Yeah.
And they're like, what's the best way of doing that? Well, then we're going to make as much things practical as possible. Also, these sets are not cheap.
No, gosh,
The
no.
sets are amazing. Just mind-blowing. I don't even know how many shows are doing that crazy, that to that level of like the one in Whiskey Peak, the saloon, that's like 3 or 4 floors.
That, even like Little Garden, because like what they did with Little Garden is that obviously they basically made 2 sets, because you had inside the cave, which they made life-size replicas as if it was giant items.
Yeah, they made stuff so that the actors who are regular sized have massive props against them.
Yeah.
And then vice versa, so that the giants looked huge.
Yeah, which is like incredible, well done attention to detail, because they easily could have just CGI that in through a green screen and whatever,
absolutely.
Right? But the fact that they made like a 6-foot tall giant skull, for example, just as a background prop, is you can just see the time and effort they actively put into it, right?
Well, you can just tell that it's clear that they have people that care about the series, and are trying to truly do their darndest to bring it to life. Just going over the general plot, we won't say, I'll just go over kind of the arcs that are told in season 2. So season 1, we obviously start off, we kind of pick up the main members of the crew.
Yep.
And the really big adjustment was that we kind of kick out Don Krieg and just add the Fishmen to start building up them as a villain, being that kind of final act villain of season 1. And then we go to Arlong Park and we finish that. Coming into here, we're going right to Logtown, which is right before Reverse Mountain. And then we go into Little Garden in Drum Island.
Yeah.
Basically, kind of that journey. I guess I missed Whiskey Peak in there, is in the middle of Little Garden and Reverse Mountain. But yeah, they covered a good amount, but it felt good. And it felt like the things that needed time got the time they needed.
Yeah, I think the pacing for the show is really well done, which is kind of stressful because when you think of like, oh, we need to get 5 arcs in 8 episodes, like from a non-biased perspective, you're like, that's not going to be logical to do in the slightest.
They do a great job. And they're adding new stuff.
So much stuff too that's not...
It's not canon.
Yeah,
well, it's canon, I guess, because Oda's
expanded
there.
Canon.
Well, Oda's giving the green light for everything.
Yeah.
He's right there. He's working heavily. And I don't know if it's ever been announced, but it does seem like he might have kind of that Brandon Sanderson level of control that Brandon Sanderson recently has apparently obtained from Apple, where it's like, what I say goes.
Yeah.
And if he's kiboshing something, it's being kiboshed. But if he gives...
Well, I mean, just like you also have to keep in mind is like the fan base of One Piece worldwide is insane. So
and anime fans are crazy.
Anime fans are crazy. Manga fans are a bit crazy. So just even thinking about like if they do one big drastic change, people are gonna riot.
There's gonna be people on all sides always, right? There's gonna be people who hate things. There's probably people who hate the live action.
Oh, they think I've read a couple articles. They're like it was complete trash, and I was just like, what?
But this is easily the best. Even compared to the season 1, the best live action adaptation for an anime.
Hands down.
And it's so insane that it's One Piece. Because we've had something like
Death Note.
What a lob.
What a missed opportunity.
What an easy, underhanded lob to do, because so much of it is just acting.
Yep.
You only had to have one character who was in costume, wasn't even CGI, do stuff.
And they butchered it. Mind blown on how the logic
like that one should have been a joke. Cowboy Bebop, obviously, if they went to this extreme with set design, costumes, and writing, like it would have been so good.
Yeah.
One Piece is so over the top, wacky, and extreme.
It's a lot.
That it doesn't make sense that it should do good.
Agreed.
In
But
my
I'm
opinion.
happy it does.
It just does not make sense. Anyways, music OST killed it out of the park.
I got one of the songs added to my main playlist from the show.
I think
so
my other favorite thing about the music in OST is them where they find the moments to put in some of the OG music.
yes,
They had like Chopper's song. They fit one of, I think the season 2 opening was also inside
sprinkled
of
in
this.
there.
Like
Yeah.
season 2, the second opening of the anime was fit in its own way. They are just really clever with doing it, and the original music coming in is perfect. It just fits the vibe.
Yeah.
Oh, chef kiss. But yeah, I guess we'll jump into positives.
Positives. Attention detail right down to the hair designs of
Yeah, costume.
like
Costume design
designs.
is immaculate.
Some new things that got added that I really enjoyed, like Zoro seeing Mihawk and like pushing Zoro to be good enough gives more Zoro a bit of depth.
Yeah,
Which I
we kind of
thought-
just accept that Zoro is I'm going to be the greatest swordsman, and
Yeah.
he trains. He's
Yep.
always training on the ship. But yeah, there was more of it kind of showed that he is thinking about it.
Yeah, which I think is it's just a fun addition to Zoro because we kind of see that a little bit there, here and there in the manga, but it's just kind of good to see that.
Who was your
um,
favorite new character costume? Like, if
For
you had to
s-
pick one costume or one character that just was absolutely out of the park, you have to pick
Oh,
one.
One. That's tough because they kill it with every.
Everyone is, yeah, it goes without. Everyone was great.
I think Mr. 3, just for the hairpiece alone, because I think it's just top
I mean,
tier.
even Dr. Hairluke for his hair.
Oh my gosh, yeah, like they do so well. Mr. 8 with his hairpiece, like there's no. It's hard to be like, yeah, that one. But I think Mr. 3, just because it, right down to like his look, like
Yeah,
his makeup and stuff was like.
I think for me, it's probably Robin.
Mm,
And that's because they showed Robin in 3 or 4 different outfits that we've all seen Robin in. And every single time you're like, that's Robin.
I will say Crocodile looks dope as well.
Yeah, at the end.
That's like a close second for me.
But man, it was Robin.
Yeah, that was right out of the manga. Right out of the
You really,
anime.
that's Robin. But same, Mr. 3, like,
Yeah,
couldn't have been better.
yeah, no, literally full on just came
Here,
out
Luke,
of-
couldn't have been better.
The fact that they 3D
Correja-
printed that and just like went
Kreha couldn't have been better.
exactly.
Had her sunglasses and her regular glasses. Had the crop
Golden
top
Week
shirt.
even like
Oh, yeah.
all of the characters. Top
Giants?
tier. The giant, freaking.
I read
well
that
done.
they had weighted their costumes were weighted to
Yep.
give them a little bit more
like a slow.
yeah, to give more weight to their fight.
Yeah, they honestly just that stuff, and then even like the cast, the behind the scenes stuff, which is another positive for me, is like the actor for Zoro being like, no, I need to hit 100 people because the audience is gonna know like that. There, watching behind the scenes of Sanji in the bartending scene of
Yeah,
him
that
actually
he
learning.
took 6 months to learn how to do
for one scene,
flair
basically.
bartending.
I'm like, just the cast wanting to do all this extra stuff to just
Well,
make
and
sure
the
they
actor for
do-
Zoro got even bigger.
Yeah,
Like
he built.
he's buffed
Yeah,
out.
he got buffed out, which is crazy. Even like the actress for Slip Fruit, like she lost weight between season 1
yeah.
and season 2.
60 pounds or something.
Yeah, which I'm like, you didn't have to do that, but like kudos to you, just like
Well, and she said it was extra motivation. Like she was already working on being healthier and losing weight, and then wanting this role basically was like, I want to do the role justice, and
Yeah.
it's more incentive to be healthier.
amen. Like that's incredible.
Yeah, it was great.
Glad to see practical effects. I mean, it shows the effort going to the show that we've already mentioned. I'm a big fan of practical effects, so anytime I see that,
They used so many.
which is incredible. The fact that one of the only CGI moments is the otter and vulture,
And they looked so
And
good.
they look so
well,
good.
there was the dinosaurs that looked good.
Yeah.
Like to a believable, the textures were good.
Agreed.
Yeah, and then the odd, yeah, that was ridiculous.
And I think for me, a positive that I don't have written down is that I'm kind of happy we didn't get Karoo.
We will
Like,
definitely see him. He was
We
mentioned.
will, yes.
I think when you have a character that's going to be in 3, almost half your season, who it has to be almost completely CGI.
Yeah, and you already have Chopper.
No, that's the guy I'm
Like,
talking about.
yeah.
Chopper. Like he is CGI for 3 episodes.
Yeah, it's tough.
That's where all of the money's going to go.
Yeah,
Hopefully, I guess maybe they're assuming they're going to take on even more.
I feel
Maybe
like
we
they will.
see Karu, and then
It might be a background thing.
instead of a lot of riding, it's more like
Yeah.
Karu, go do that.
I think that's what it's going to be to kind of save budget, which I'm kind of okay
we
with.
see a lot more of Chopper in his human form, like his big human form.
Yeah.
And in which
Handsome
case
Grinch.
that's a suit.
Yep.
It's not CGI.
Exactly.
That's just a different person as Chopper, because Chopper was the person wearing the costume.
Yep.
For in his monster point. It's not really monster.
Yeah, human point. It's weird.
Then there's the voice actor who they also did facial recognition or whatever for the emotions, which was great. And then they had another person acting out on. She like had like knee pads, and she was playing out kind of like Chopper scenes,
which was really well done
with the actors. So they had someone to work off of, and then they also, of course, had a little dummy made up of Chopper. They went the cutesy kind of not super epic realistic version of what a reindeer human would look like, which is probably for the best.
I'm very happy that Oda pushed for the like, no.
Yeah, pushed for like the more cutie mascot look.
Yeah.
He was great. He looked so... I don't think I could have thought up of a better, cuter kind of look for the live action if I tried. He was probably better than I could have thought in terms of what he looked like.
Yeah.
Other likes, I thought the reverse mountain looked really great.
Yep.
That was a really fun scene. I have here tip of the hat to the hair and makeup team and the practical effects team, because they're working overtime. They're just doing absolutely fantastic.
I think another positive is the introduction of characters.
Vivi.
Yeah.
Great casting. Just incredible.
Her scenes added, like
her chemistry also with just the cast.
That's what I was about to say.
Like she almost was literally Vivi.
Yeah.
Like the way you watch and read the manga with them, Vivi just ends up fitting in so seamlessly into the crew where you're like, she has to be a crew member. And that's how it feels watching the live action. She just
that's the thing, is
blends
like
so well.
I think I'm a little worried about the future of like, if I know there won't be an issue, but if you get like a new Straw Hat that doesn't fit chemistry wise with the cast, then it's just gonna feel so off.
They must be doing some sort of testing, right? At this point, like doing a scene with them.
Have to,
because that was just beyond perfect.
They just fit so well, and like you said, it's literally like Vivi and Nami's chemistry alone just came right out.
I was gonna say it felt like Emily Rudd really benefited from having, just another woman on set.
Exactly, she was loving it. She was loving it.
It wasn't just a boys' club anymore. So yeah, the chemistry was just so good.
Yeah. Another positive I have is introduction to characters that aren't supposed to be there yet builds hype for viewers from the manga and anime.
That's what I have. I've using hindsight, and this is something we've talked about in our MCU reviews, Marvel Mondays, if every Monday, where Oda, now we have like 1,100 chapters to look at.
Yep.
And be like, Oda obviously at this point in the story when writing it did not know that he was going to end up having other characters flash back to points in the story that have already happened. Like, he didn't know that.
Yeah.
He is great at world building and foreshadowing, but even Oda doesn't have everything planned out.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was amazing to see them bring someone like Bartolomeo in, which is inspired at Logtown when we get his story.
Exactly.
And so they're like, let's put him there, because safe to say they're probably not getting to dress Rosa.
No. Even like throwing Sabo there, like as just a background thing.
Yeah, just to say that he's
just
there.
Like, oh yeah, no, Sabo.
Even if we don't end up getting to the point where we see Sabo.
Exactly.
Like,
it's just a
you
sprinkle.
got to see him. There was there's a bunch of wanted posters.
Pedro.
Pedro. Characters we probably won't see.
Yeah, we'll never get to
but
that
at
point.
least there's so many fun Easter eggs thrown out throughout the series. And yeah, like using hindsight of being like, hey, we know that this character should be here. Let's throw him in.
Exactly.
Like,
Easy
it's
peasy.
not going to hurt. I think that is just chef kiss for attention to detail and making the story work. You have so much to work with, so many pages and volumes of media.
Yeah.
To be like, we can we can throw this in. I think the introduction of Brooke early. And this one also paid off because in season 1, we have Shanks singing this song to Luffy. And then Luffy's like, oh, I know that song.
Yeah.
And
I'll
then
sing
instead
it.
of fighting the whale, which is what he does in the original story, he sings to the whale. And that's what kind of creates that bond and friendship.
Exactly.
I thought that was really nice. The casting for Brooke also, oh my gosh, it's Brooke. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, they are not missing.
No, they're killing it every
the
time.
casting. It's just absolutely amazing to see. Chopper and Dr. Kreha, perfect.
Exactly.
The backstory, heartbreaking.
And it brought me to tears. Like
it was missing details that happen in the actual manga. For example, we don't see Dr. Hirouk. He shoots at Chopper to get him to go away. Like, there's some attentions that are missed, but the overall feeling and meaning is all still there. It's still encapsulated. Like, you still get the same feeling. It's just not as long.
Yeah.
Oh, that was so good. Yeah, that one brings tears to your eyes. The Chopper story.
It does. I didn't sleep. Like, that was the time I was having like not that good of a sleep. So I was watching it and I was actively just like starting to tear up because I knew what was going to happen.
Yep.
And I was like, man, the actor that's playing the doctor, I know that he's just going to deliver those lines like way too good. I'm just like, I'm not mentally prepared for this right now.
I was almost crying when he was kicking Chopper out.
Yeah.
I was like, geez, I'm going to cry here.
You're like, ah.
You're like, no, don't do it. I know why you're doing it,
know,
but just
don't
do it to him. Don't do him like that.
Even as soon as
eating the mushroom and how sad Chopper is when Dr. Kreha's like, you're an idiot, and you're like,
and then it cuts back to him in like the palace, and you're like,
and then later Chopper's like, I'm gonna be the cure everything because I'm gonna be the greatest. And you're just like, you can do it, Chopper. I believe in you.
You got this, buddy.
I guess we'll try and find some dislikes.
Yeah, I think I put the wackiness of Delphurds don't always portray properly to live action, which is something you and I talked about a little bit off camera.
Some of the devil fruits are just, they don't look natural, but I said that the show does such a good job of leaning into how ridiculous One Piece is that it does help.
Yes.
You know, I think the only one that truly made me go was the slip fruit, but then it was also still practical effects having her slide around.
Yeah, exactly.
So then you're kind of like, you
know
what?
it.
I like it.
Yeah.
It almost has like this little bit of something to it where you're like, the quirkiness is nice.
And then my other negative is like, I'm 50-50 on how I feel about human form Heavy Point. Like,
I loved it. You have to remember, he's a monster.
That's what I
People
mean.
call him a monster.
That's why I'm like, I think for when at first I was like, oh, but I was like, oh no, it does fit. Like, I'm not like upset about it. Just I saw some memes that was like, oh, it's just handsome Grinch, and I was like, that's wild.
But
it
he's
looks
very good for if you look back at the OG.
Mm-hmm.
It's very confusing because I think the OG Little Chopper isn't as cutesy as he has come to be in the anime and manga, as you know. But they went the more cutesy upfront route in the live action. But when he goes into like the bigger human form, he no longer
has that cute effect.
He no longer has it's kind of really reminiscent of the original design. Where if you're caught up in the anime and manga now, he still kind of has that cutesy face.
He does get
the
it back.
softer face, even in human, and he has the weird fur collar.
Yeah.
But I thought it was really good. I thought it was really fitting, and I do think there's a good chance we see a lot of that form just to save on budget for CGI,
which is fine.
Go to Alabasta, it's totally acceptable. But man, he looked good, Little Chopper, and Chopper in general, reindeer form Chopper.
Yeah, I was gonna say we got like 3 different forms.
Didn't get to see him use Rumble Ball,
but it got mentioned.
He shows it and he says it's a secret.
It's a secret for now, and you're like, ah.
I did see some people discussing how the show isn't overly violent in terms of like goriness, and it's odd that some of like the swearing just kind of shows up. So it's like it's almost to a point where you could show a kid and watch it with a kid, but then depending on how you are about swearing and stuff, it is a little bit now as readers and watchers of One Piece. Chopper does swear. He does kind of have a bit of a potty mouth.
Yeah.
Screaming at people, calling them a-holes. Like that's Chopper.
Yeah.
But I could see the complaint being like everything is very whimsical, like for it is targeted towards young boys. Like it is that is the original concept for One Piece. That's where it's targeting. So I can see maybe like why don't really need the swearing, and it's like that's understandable. I think for just to point out, it doesn't obviously affect me.
Yeah.
As far as the only miss for acting, I think Dragon looked great. I was really not a fan of his delivery on his very few lines.
Yeah.
Felt very like holding the skull Hamlet, like almost overacting. And I didn't really enjoy that, but that could be a directorial choice that we could end up seeing later. Maybe he's better. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
That was the only acting and casting that I was like a little iffy on. The multi-framing. It did stop later on, but the first 3 episodes where they kept doing like the little frames of all of the crew members, I was like, okay, I'm getting a little tired of this.
That's fair.
The first night was fine.
I will say a positive that I have that we haven't mentioned is the transition into the title sequence.
Yeah,
I enjoyed
of like the different One Piece logo every time.
Yeah, but like how they get to it. So like when they get to Labu, for example, they go sailing into his mouth, and the mouth closes and splashes, and then the One Piece logo pops up.
Well, I think the one is we see Wapple eating like parts of the One Piece logo.
Yeah, it's just like fun little stuff like that.
Title cards for the Baroque Works were cool.
Yeah, Baroque Works were good. The wanted posters that we don't see as much in season 2, but we see it a lot more in season 1.
But other than that, it's actually hard to find things to
nitpick.
dislike.
Yeah, the 95% makes sense.
Yeah, it's great. What else do we got here?
Obviously, a bunch of Easter eggs we kind of already mentioned a little bit. About just like Pedro's wanted poster, just things that they're setting up, and just like sprinkling extra lore into the world, really for those more hardcore fans.
Yeah, it's definitely there for the hardcores. I think I appreciate the effort that has gone into the show, both financially. I mean, Netflix could have easily they could have just done a 1-season wonder,
which is a Netflix
to try and get people to watch the show, which is on Netflix.
Yeah,
the anime. They also could have just been like, hey, people are gonna watch this because
it's One Piece.
It's a big IP.
Yeah,
but they really have put a lot of money, a lot of effort into it. And it's just at this point, it's almost a great way, an entry drug to get people into One Piece.
I have that in my notes. It's a fun way to bring a lot of new people into the world of One Piece. It's another way for the fan base to grow. And I just think even if you're a fan of the manga or anime, I think it's just an extra little source to watch. Like
it's its own thing.
Yeah.
Right? I think back to when Game of Thrones started diverging a bit from the source material, from being super, super close to just a little bit. And remember, George R. R. Martin was always like, it's its own thing, And One Piece, like, they are doing such a good job, as mentioned before, of condensing it to to this much shorter format. Like, I'm scared. How is Alabasta going to be 8 episodes, or are they going to somehow do more than one arc?
Yeah, it's going to be tough. But I'm excited for it. I think they've done a really good job of like hyping it up to be like, no, like this is what we're getting to,
Yeah. We'll put a link down in the description for a good video that kind of talks about all the Easter eggs, because there are far too many to go in this more review style of video.
Yep.
But I do have a few changes from the manga. Also, there's tons, so can't go over all of them. As mentioned, we had Bartolomeo, Brooke introduced earlier, Saber shown earlier. We're following Robin kind of on her little side quest, because we only really see her the one time that shows up on the boat on the Going Merry.
Yep. And
we're kind of seeing her spread throughout. She gives Wapple the devil fruit. That's not in the manga. Crocus is not in the balloon. The lighthouse is just out there, and it's mentioned as a joke.
Yep.
Usopp literally says it's big enough in there to live in there. Zoro's visions of fighting Mihawk. There's no Karu, as mentioned. God Valley's mentioned.
Yep.
Nika is mentioned.
Yeah.
The Rivery. This is another hindsight where we didn't get the Rivery arc until in the middle of Wano, or
No, it was after Whole Cake, before Wano, or was it
Okay.
after Zoe?
I think you're right. I think it was after Whole Cake, and then we also had a bit where we jumped back to it. I think in Wano,
Yeah.
for a brief moment of time, and that was a great use of. They showed a previous Reverie
Yep.
where Vivi was a kid and gets hit by Wapple, and they're like, why not throw it into the live action to give more development to Vivi?
Exactly. Also, that Reverie alone, there is so many Easter eggs of all the different people that we've seen.
Oh, I know.
like-
And they went so hard on all of the costumes so unnecessarily. They did not have to. That's just another attention to detail where they did not have to go that hard for
Exactly.
a
Because there was like
couple
some
minutes
very minuscule people that we like get one name drop of in the entire. Yeah, because like, yeah, I have the picture. I don't have their names, but there is a lot in there for no reason.
Yeah. It is just chef kiss. Igaram dying. Now, as far as the manga goes, we also think he dies and then he doesn't. So we'll see. This one looks a little bit more black and white
For sure.
than the original, because the other one he kind of explodes a ship.
Yep.
This one, there ain't no ship. He's right there and then he's not there. So that one is also different. Sanji talking about his mom. Jesus. Sanji talking about his mom.
Yep.
That was emotional, especially if you know Sanji's backstory. That was a really beautiful scene with him and Nami. We got a little bit of Miss Golden Weeks, a lot more about her
Yep.
than we do originally. There's no Luffy or Zoro fight, which is a good change, I think. 'Cause
Yeah.
that fight was so annoying when you first read or watch, where you're kind of like, are you trusting these random people over basically your right-hand mate?
Yeah.
I always thought that was really dumb, that Luffy could have just been like, hey, what happened? And Zoro's like, they're bad guys. And you go, oh.
Okay.
Because Luffy, he trusts his friends.
Exactly.
Even if he's only known them for like,
5 seconds.
month, maybe.
A week.
As mentioned, Chopper, secret Rumble Balls. We don't see him use any of the Rumble Balls. Zoro and Sanji talk and make their bet about the dinosaur, but we don't see them both bring separate big dinosaurs, which is what happens in the actual story. But that was still funny to see them fight over the one dinosaur.
Yeah. It kind of just adds to their characters.
Well, and this is what I mean. They make changes like they both don't bring dinosaurs, which saves them money because they don't have two big CGI things. They fight the one same CGI, but they kind of still have that spirit of them arguing about it.
Yeah, that
I'm the one who
competition.
killed it. I'm
Yeah.
the one who killed it.
Moss head gets dropped a couple times.
Yeah. So there are more changes, but the Smoker and Tashigi kind of having their own story.
Sub-arc.
It kind of, I'll have to see how this one goes, because I feel like some of it kind of is going a little bit iffy. But it's still cool. It gives a lot more to Smoker.
Yeah, I think also Smoker design
And
was great,
Tashigi.
but yeah.
It gives her a lot more kind of stuff going on with her character. Yeah. Anything else you want to mention, Matt?
No, I think they've done a good job of like adding extra things, like you said, with like the Smoker subplot. Like it's not 10
Smoker,
out of 10.
Robin.
Yeah, they're adding extra things that feels good, and it does help the story follow through.
Well, it feels like so many of the people working on it are fans.
Yeah.
Just looking here, Jewelry Bonnie was mentioned on one of the papers. What else? Oh, we forgot to mention the choreography.
Oh, yeah. Incredible.
The choreography is
And
so
knowing
good.
that it's mostly them as well is even crazier.
Yeah, the fight choreography is great, and so much of it is them. And when you see the behind the scenes, you're just like, damn,
Like, I'm happy that Netflix has released a couple things for like behind the scenes. There's like a whole like One Piece season 2 podcast video thing they've done. They've done a couple like think like 6-7 minute episodes of just like here's more behind the scenes.
Yeah,
And I'm like,
or stuff of the cast doing fun stuff together. I've also
Exactly.
seen that Taz Skylar, the actor for Sanji, has his own YouTube that he posts a bunch of stuff or will tell stories about.
yeah,
So, like for example, he talks about he's like, so I went through 6 months on the script. It says Sanji does some flair bartending, and he's like, in the script, it's a 1 sentence thing. You're like, oh, that's so easy, but then he's like, I have to train for that for 5-6 months to nail it. And he's like,
for
and
that
then
one scene.
and he's like, then you go into to act to film, and you're like, I have to nail this because if I fail, then I'm holding up everyone else by failing to do it. And you're like, damn, like that's crazy. So he tells a lot of
pressure.
stories. And similarly, in season 1, he talks about how he got an argument with the director because he wanted to be holding the plate when he fought, and the director's like, who cares? And he's like,
They
no,
care.
like they care,
Yeah,
and
they
I
will
care. And he like fought for it. So
It's even like right down to the actor that plays Luffy being like, oh no, we need to have this one scene where I have chopsticks in my nostrils.
yeah,
and
the
the
like
remote.
homage to the
Yeah.
actual scene with him and Chopper doing it.
I'm like, that's just crazy that
And some people I saw complaining about Inaki being like too cringe or too
have they read the manga or watched
That's
the
what I
anime?
mean.
Like
like yes, some of the other characters are a bit more
serious.
serious, emotionally developed, if you
Yeah.
will. But that's just not Luffy.
Luffy doesn't have a serious moment
Luffy
until
is
he like
cringe.
needs to.
Yeah, that's exactly it, right? I think the big example is in Drum Island when Vivi's like, Luffy, you're the captain of this crew, and we need to get Nami help. Like, you need to.
Yeah.
And then he listens.
Locks in.
He locks in and listens to Vivi. But man, like his facial expressions, just always smiling and over the top, like that is Luffy.
I agree 100%.
And I don't think the One Piece show could work if the actors were not so into their character.
Yeah.
You know, like Zoro is very monotone, very like kind of a default delivery, the same kind of, you understand the same delivery every time, and that's just very kind of Zoro like.
Usopp is the actor.
Oh, he is so
like-
good. Especially if you consider how much they kind of cut out of Usopp's arc.
Yeah.
The Usopp arc kind of got cut down majorly in season 1, and they did the casting. What's his Jacob? I think Jacob Gibson is the
Yes.
actor for Usopp. He is Usopp.
Yeah.
He does such a good job of
Right down to
bringing
like the
Usopp to life.
movement and stuff too.
Yeah,
like, it's-
exactly. Oh, speaking of which, we have the Nika dance
Yeah.
by Luffy. Oh man, like all of the actors are fantastic, and I think Emily Rudd is probably the best. Probably maybe due to the fact that she's also the biggest One Piece fan
Yeah.
in the cast. But every scene she is in, she's almost bringing the other actors up with her.
Yeah. I could see that.
But yeah, I did see some complaints about Inaki, but I feel like he is playing Luffy to a T.
Yeah. I agree.
Luffy, if you've read the manga or have watched the entire anime, like you know that Luffy, picture that in real life. Like that's
what you're getting.
it's annoying, it's ridiculous, it's
Yeah.
cringe. That's Luffy.
exactly.
That's why it almost does a better representation of how real people would react to Luffy, in my opinion, where they would be like, "What's wrong with that guy?"
You're like, oh
Because
no,
in the
that's
anime,
just
you
the way
just
he
kind of
is.
accept it. You're like, "That's Luffy," but when you see it by a real person, you're kind of like, "Ooh," and then you realize, "Oh yeah, maybe he is a bit much."
Little. Yeah.
Like I have no complaints about the main cast, and they've only gotten better. I'm excited to have Chopper on now, and we'll see how Alabasta goes.
Yep.
It's
Some-
a big story.
Big story. Some big characters get introduced.
There's going to be a lot cut out, I think.
Yeah. I am excited for some of the casting that we've already seen for season 3.
Yep.
With the actor that's playing Ace, killed it in Blue Beetle, and apparently he's friends with the actor that plays
Oh,
Luffy.
he's Inaki's friend. Okay.
So I'm like, I've seen a couple videos of them, and they already have good chemistry. So I just can't wait to see how that even becomes more alive on screen.
yeah, it's a big arc. I'm very interested to see what gets cut out.
Yeah.
There's also a decent handful of some more Devil Fruit powers that probably
Won't make it.
Are they gonna make a hawk costume, or is it gonna be CGI? Do they have them at all?
Yeah, that's also a good point too. But don't worry, guys. If you're listening, we'll be there to cover it.
We'll be there to cover it. And as crazy as it is, it's to say, excited for season 3 of a live action anime show.
I remember doing a trailer reaction to season 1, and I said I was excited for it. And I remember someone commented, they're like, I don't know, like I feel like you're getting too hyped for this. Like I don't know if it's gonna be good.
And here we are.
Here we are.
2 seasons in, and it's gotten better.
Exactly.
Season 1 was
top tier.
very solid.
Incredible.
I think the only negative really for season 1 was I didn't love what they were doing with Garp.
No?
Yeah, I wasn't the biggest fan of the change to Garp. Kind of having him follow Luffy, and it didn't really feel very Garp-like what was happening.
Yeah.
But season 2, it just got even better. Bigger sets,
Yeah.
right? Like even just chef kiss. Like the set design is immaculate.
Even like on the ship and stuff too.
Guess it helps
like
also they didn't have to pay for a ship this season.
True.
They had
it
a
built.
ship.
Yeah, it's already pre-built.
But that's got to be, I mean, from someone who's done stuff for film, like seeing so many practical stuff
Practical
used and
effects
so
are the
much
way to
set
go.
design,
Like,
it just looks better.
and it just makes you more immersed in the story. I think like we've talked about the Marvel movies on Marvel Monday, and there's certain scenes that are just CGI and green screen that don't need to be.
Yeah, and they take you out of it almost.
And yeah, but meanwhile, like we're on a pirate ship, and yes, the pirate ship's behind a blue screen, but for 85%
some of it's practical stuff. The way they did the water is
Yeah.
is just a backdrop of water, and then they put like silver paper that they then blow a fan into that makes it kind of shimmer and look like it's moving water.
which is crazy because it works and it just looks beautiful, and you see the time and effort that it went into it. So like, does it suck that we have to wait another year and a half for a season? Yes, but if every season
Does it suck that we're not gonna get all of One Piece?
yes,
Yes.
but if they're taking the time and effort to push a great story like this to the satisfaction of what this season is, then take your time.
My question to you is, where do they stop? Let's say they're approved and they just know that they can't do the whole thing, and it's not due to cancellation.
Yeah.
Where do you think that they call it?
I know they said that if we're going to keep going, we're going to end after 12 seasons, what they said. So I think we'll get to just pre-time skip.
Pre-time skip.
Yeah.
So like handling the like flashback arc for Luffy?
Yes.
Okay.
I
And
think-
maybe setting sail on
Into the, like, I think it could end where we get to, where they're like, all right, we'll meet
they
back
return.
here.
Yeah, they return and
Yeah.
they kind of set sail.
I think, yeah, they'll say, hey, we'll meet back here in 2 years. We'll get one final, like, either episode or like 15, 20 minutes of them jumping back. We see all their upgrades kind of thing. And then we're like, all right, let's go find the One Piece. And we'll just,
Yeah, like have it in
Cool.
bubble. They go down underwater to go to Fishman Island.
yeah,
and
and just
ends.
cut it.
That's a pretty good spot to end.
I
I was
think-
thinking it was probably going to end at the final, like the war arc,
Yeah.
like at the end of that.
I think that's too big of a cliffhanger for everything that happens there.
Watch One Piece.
But no, I know. I also understand it from that.
What better to be
perspective.
like? Watch One Piece.
Yeah.
Read One Piece. But yeah, I think yours is really solid because it's kind of like they're back at it. It kind of finishes off like the war, what happened there, the reason they split off, and then coming back,
Exactly.
kind of seeing them be like they never left,
Exactly.
and then going off into the
distance.
distant, well,
Yes.
underwater.
Fade
'Cause
to
it's
black.
One Piece.
Yeah.
Just blow.
Yep.
I guess your final review, ranking, thoughts, recommendation.
Give it a watch. You don't have to be an anime or manga fan. You don't have to be a fan of it. It's just,
You don't have to be a fan of One Piece.
this is just a good show.
Yeah, it's a fun, wacky show.
Exactly.
Yeah, I would definitely agree. I would say it's probably a 9 out of 10,
100%. 9 out of 10.
which is wild. Never
Never thought I'd say the day.
Never in my wildest dreams would I be like, yeah,
One Piece
One
live
Piece
action.
live action. That's
Incredible.
gonna be the best adaptation they do
Crazy.
out of all the options. That some of which are just acting
Yeah.
or just a drama. The one with fruits that give you ridiculous powers.
With talking animals.
The jaw on
Yeah.
Wapple.
the fact that half of that was practical as
Yes,
well.
it was
Like,
practical effects. They had a talking thing that
which is I know. I watched the scene of him getting into that makeup
That's-
every day. Why? I love it.
That's wild.
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10
Anyways.
on costume design for sure.
Yeah.
And set design and
All
choreography.
around. Just 10 out of 10s.
Definitely highly recommend. If you have someone who's like, I don't watch that anime shit, get them to watch this. Could be the start of something new.
High school. That's cool.
But yeah, join us next week as we talk about something that I don't know because I haven't looked at my list.
We're talking about we're gonna redo an episode that we did within our first 100 episodes. We're bringing it to video this time with some updates and new opinions. And stay tuned for some D&D updates as well next week.
Yeah.
If that's what you're waiting for, you'll hear that next week.
Hell yeah.
And we'll see you then.
See you then.
Bye.
Bye.
TNMP, the Nerdy Misfit Podcast. Don't forget to join the island by dropping a follow. Thank you. And see you next week.